We care about our heroes on the front line in our hospitals who are going above and beyond the call of duty. We salute their dedication and wish to extend our appreciation for their service. We also recognize the vulnerable in our society and provide support to those in need by introducing a label fundraising initiative in partnership with Oasis Water. Everyone can do their part by joining the fight with the simple act of purchasing an Oasis water with a specially marked red label. Every purchase will go towards contributing to a product donation fund delivered directly to the frontline staff in our hospitals through the charitable organizations that we have aligned with. Our product donation will be used in the preparation of food hampers that will be distributed to the many families and communities in need who have been severely impacted by this crisis. A little bit goes a long way in this fight. Sip and support today. Help us contribute to those who have given so much back to us through their work on the front line. Lend of your support as we provide food relief to those families and communities in need. Learn more about this Oasis Cares initiative at www.myoasiswater.com.
There are two ways to place an order. Our website, shopsmj.com, or via WhatsApp at 355-7777. Using the WhatsApp feature is both convenient and user-friendly. As with using WhatsApp, there's a choice to either text your order or place a call to a SM Jaleel customer service representative. The customer service team is available and more than ready to provide any assistance you might need. Once the order is placed and payment organized, you will be informed of the estimated time of delivery. The entire process is streamlined and straightforward. It's simple and easy to do. Stay home and stay safe by making use of this amazing online ordering and delivery service.
Good evening, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to C Results on IBN TV, as well as the IBN TV Facebook page and the C Results Facebook page. I am Sir Ijaz, and today it's Monday, so we'll be doing mathematics in the first hour, which will be followed by English Language Arts with Miss Naila in the second hour. So we're going to resume our Monday tradition here, where we go through the students who would have done particularly well in the previous week's quizzes. All right, enough time has elapsed now so that we can resume doing this little bit of encouragement that we do on a Monday at the beginning of our program. So our class, our new classroom, it continues to grow. Remember, we've created a new Edmodo class for those of you who'd like to continue this journey with us. We've got a bit of an extended period here that was not catered for initially, being with the situation that happened with the coronavirus and so on. So we are continuing here in this journey with you to keep you, fresh and prepared, to keep your mind sharp. And we've decided to create a new space for the students who are continuing with us, because the old one, it got a bit cluttered, and we want to be able to manage it properly. Okay, so currently we are back up to about 162 students, and we have way more parent participation than we did in the previous class, where we averaged around 25%, so that's good. All right, we do want the parents to be involved. Even if you don't have an account as a parent, you can still ensure that when your child or your ward uses this program, uses the app to do the assignments, that they do it responsibly, right? And they conduct themselves appropriately. And the social aspects of the program, they use it for beneficial things and they conduct themselves in an appropriate manner, right? So we had 91 students that took the English Language Arts quiz, and that was on spelling. Okay, so this is in section 1 of the paper. And it wasn't a terribly difficult one, and our students did not disappoint us in any way whatsoever. 97% of the students passed with an average of 92% throughout the class. And for the mathematics, we had just 2 students less taking that particular quiz. And as you can see there, the students, they did perform, significantly worse, for want of a better word, in that particular quiz. All right, so this quiz was taken from the second section of the essay paper, meaning questions of that type. So you expect the difficulty to be that more difficult, right? And we had 58% of the students passing that particular quiz with a 54% average. So what this is telling me is that the students, they have gotten a bit rusty here in the mathematics. All right, parents and guardians. Now, what we like to advise is that whenever we post these quizzes, they are posted on a Saturday, as you can see, sometimes on a Sunday as well, right? We posted quizzes again on this Saturday, English Language Arts, mathematics, as well as a creative writing assignment. You have an entire week to do it, basically. You have from Saturday when it's posted until 11:59 p.m. on the Friday after that. Good? So I know that some of our students, they are hasty, they are excited to do the quiz as soon as it's posted, but that may not always be to their advantage, okay? You can take your time, review, rewatch the videos that were done. They are made available for you on Facebook. They are made available for you on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, See Results. You can recap. If you think that you don't need to watch the entire video, you can skim through the video, look at the more difficult questions that we would have covered. But right now, all the mathematics questions that we are doing are a bit challenging, right? We are dealing with tying up some loose ends in the second section of the paper, and then we'll be doing questions from the third section of the paper before we start doing complete practice papers from start to finish, okay? So the questions are a bit challenging, admittedly, but this is the reality of the exam, okay? Every year we have a lot of people complaining about the mathematics paper, and I agree that it can be challenging at times, can be a bit stressful for the students, but we have to try our best to prepare. So you rewatch those videos as needed. You have an entire week to do it. I know that a lot of you are now taking online classes with your teachers since you're away from school, and the workload is a bit much for you, just as it was when you were in physical school and you're coming closer to the exam. So our participation, it might fluctuate based on the workload coming from school and so on. Good? So some parents have actually messaged us and said, we are watching the show, we are working along with you during the live program, but there's so much work coming in from school that they won't be doing the quizzes on Edmodo for now. All right? And that's fine. We want to help you in whatever way we can. All right? But just don't be so hasty to do the quizzes and you haven't really watched the show. You have no idea what was covered and you just are there on Edmodo just to do the practice and you are not as strong in it. Of course, you're going to get, a mark that probably you won't be too happy with. So you have an entire week to do it. Take your time. Unless you know you've watched the content, you are familiar with it, you're strong in it, go ahead and take that quiz, all right? And of course, whenever you get something wrong, you are given the correct answer. So there's always that advantage. So even if you don't score very highly, you're going to get the accurate answers at the end. Good? But despite the marks being a bit lower in mathematics this week, we did have a number of students who were able to get total in both English Language Arts as well as the mathematics. And we're going to highlight those students, of course. So we had Florence Bernard, Takia Clement, Andian Joseph, and Andre Joseph all scoring total marks in both the spelling assignment for ELA as well as this very challenging mathematics assignment. So congratulations to all of you students, and you are not alone. There are actually a few more names. We have Faye Rambaran, Kyle Ramkalawan, Samir Rupan, Josiah Thomas, and Swarit Vadula. So congratulations again to all of these students, showing that it is possible to actually do quite well in mathematics and English, all right? It does not have to be one or the other, and even though the mathematics may have been challenging, they would have prepared themselves to that extent where they were able to get full marks. Of course, you don't always have to score full marks to feel like you have succeeded, all right? But we just do like to highlight those students who are able to achieve that, because it is a great achievement. Don't you agree? And of course, we had some students, we also like to mention those who fell just short, probably a mark short in either ELA or mathematics, or even in both. And those students are Aditya Budram, Jahim Douglas, Zaria Howe, Natisha Mohammed, Leonardo Ruplal, and Caitlin Sunarain. So congratulations. Those of you who are watching C Results for some time now, you'd realize you are familiar with some of these names, all right? And then we have some new people coming in, joining the ranks of these top performing students who tend to repeat in our weekly reports, but we always have people coming in and out, all right? And let me tell you, when their name is here, they get so excited. So that's why we do it as a form of encouragement. It's not to put anybody who didn't attain it down, all right? But at the end of the day, it is an exam you're preparing for that is marked, all right? It is out, it is with, percentage points and so on. So you're going to be trying to get the highest that you can. So it is a form of motivation. And we had some very excellent creative writing pieces. All right, so we want to mention Alex Basdeo, Caitlin Bernard, Kimani Firmin, Natisha Mohammed, Caitlin Sunarain, and Yannick Williams. All right, so congratulations to all of these students on the very good work that they did. This would have been the expository writing piece that Ms. Naila would have assigned. Okay, so well done to you all. And with that said, we're going to get back into our mathematics now. Remember, we didn't have a program on Thursday because you were enjoying your holiday, all right? So we still had some questions to do from the number questions in the second section of the paper. Just a few more to complete decimals, fractions, and percentages. And as you can see, we need it, right? We need it because the students, the overall performance of the class was just over 50-something%, and that needs to be much higher. All right, guys? So let's jump into it. We are going to make those numbers available to you on the screen. And in the meantime, I'm going to read the question for the benefit of everyone. On the number line below, A represents 1/6, C represents 1.5, and B is in the middle of A and C. What fraction does B represent? All right, so we have two notches here on our number, three notches actually on our number line. 1/6, 1.5, and we have something called B that's dead in the center, all right? It's in between 1/6 and 1 1/2, and we have to identify what fraction or what number it is on the number line, all right? So if you think you have an idea of how to answer this particular question, those numbers are there for you on the screen. Remember, when you do call us, that you have to preferably mute the television or carry the volume all the way down and listen to us on the phone so that we'll hear each other and there won't be feedback and we'll be able to communicate smoothly, okay? So I have a caller. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to C Results on IBN TV.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. And who am I speaking with?
Chauffeur Brown.
And welcome to the program. So what are your thoughts for this question?
Well,
caller? Okay, so we seem to have lost that caller. Guys, don't be afraid, all right? Don't get stage fright. If you don't know the answer, we will provide you with assistance. So I have another caller. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to C Results on IBN TV.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. And who am I speaking with?
Andy Ann.
Hey, welcome, Andy Ann. Andy Ann, did you see that you were just up there on our 100%, people for this week?
Yes, sir.
I have to think of a clever name for you guys. So what are your thoughts for this question here, Andy Ann?
My thoughts are you will add the 1/6 plus the 1 1/2.
Okay.
And just now I'm going to look it out.
All right, so you're adding 1/6 and 1 1/2.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to do anything special to be able to add these two fractions, Andy Ann?
Yes, you're changing the 1 1/2 to an improper fraction, which will be 3/2.
Excellent.
Hold on,
Yeah.
Hold on, So,
You can think out louder. I'm sure the audience
yes,
is very
hold on,
curious. Yeah.
So you change, when you add in, you have to find the equivalent. So you're changing you're finding the equivalent. So, just now. Hold on, 1 and 1/6. Add 3/2. Change this to 6. Add this, that will be 3. 3 by 3 is 9, 7. Divided by decimal 2/1. 1 decimal.
All right, so Andy, and you're finding an equivalent fraction for which one? For 1/6 or for 3 and 2? Which one you're converting?
Please.
All right. So we seem to have lost Andy and there, but I just want to let you callers know that she was going correct, okay? We have 1/6 and we have 1 1/2, which is the same as 3 and 2 as an improper fraction. What do we do next? Okay, so let's see if someone can pick up where Andy and left off. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV. Remember, this notch here, B, is in the middle in between A and C. So if we want to find the center point, what do you think we have to do? Why is Andy Ann adding it? Well, she was going to have to explain that later, but I'm sure someone else would be able to explain that for us. Okay, and she was also right. We can't just add these two as they are right now because we have different denominators. Good. And when we learned about mixed number addition, we learned that, if we have one or more mixed numbers in our problem, we are going to have to convert it first to an improper fraction, which is what she did. What do we have to do next? Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hello, it's Shabal again.
Hey, welcome back. So what are your thoughts here now? Where do we go from here?
So 6.
We have 1/6.
6 into 6, 1.
Okay, but remember we are adding, right? We're not multiplying. So if you are
I know. So I find the LCM.
Okay, you found the LCM. Good.
And I chose 6. So 6 into 6, 1. So I put 1 there. And 2 into 6, 3. Multiply by 3 will give me 9.
Okay.
9 plus 10 will 9 plus 1 is 10.
Yes.
And 10 over 6.
Yes.
So I have to turn it into a proper fraction.
All right. So
a mixed number.
So here what? Before you do that for me, right? You have just added 1/6 and 1 1/2. And you're telling me that that is 10 over 6. Good?
Yeah.
But where is the number that I'm looking for?
You're looking for the one in the middle.
In the middle. So what operation do you think I have to do to 10/6 to get it in the middle there? To get this missing number in the middle?
I think you should turn it into a common fraction.
Okay, so we added them together and we got 10 on 6 and we want to know the midpoint. All right? So if let's say I have a line that is like 1 meter long, for example, just for example, right? If I had a line that is 1 meter long, what would be the midpoint of that line? What would be the length of that line in the middle? You have any idea?
The 1 meter long.
Yeah.
That'll be 50 centimeters.
50 centimeters, very good, or 0.5 meters, right?
Yes.
Which is, in terms of a fraction, what is that of a meter? 0.5 or 50 centimeters?
Can you repeat that, please?
as a fraction of the entire line, what would 50 centimeters be as a fraction of this whole line?
It will be a half.
A half. Very good. So you divided there for me, just intuitively, without even thinking of it, you divided 1 meter by a half to tell me that it is 0.5 or 50 centimeters. Good?
Yes.
So in other words now, if we have 10 over 6, what do I have to do to get the midpoint on this line here?
I'll have to divide.
Right, you have to divide by 2 or multiply by
Uh-huh.
a half. Excellent. So we're dividing by 2.
2 into 10.
All right,
Two-
but
sorry.
okay. When we're dividing, right? We have 10 over 6 divided by 2. What rules should we follow before we start to divide here now?
With a reciprocal.
Right, we find the reciprocal. Good. So we're going to put 10 over 6. What is the reciprocal of 2?
The reciprocal of 2.
Yeah.
Do you want it in the next number or 1 over 2?
1 over 2, right?
Sorry. Okay.
Good. And we have to change that division sign into what sign now?
A multiplication sign.
A multiplication sign. Excellent. So I think it's set up here for you to finish it off for me now. What would you do now with this multiplication?
I will put 2 into 10, 5.
Right.
And I'll get 5 over 6.
Good. So 2 into 2, 1, and 2 into 10 is 5, and we'll get 5 by 1 is 5, and 6 by 1 is 6.
6.
So therefore, what is the missing number here at the center on the number line?
It is 5 over 6.
5 over 6. Excellent. Or
I
5,
actually, before when I first saw it, I actually put 5, 6, but I didn't know how to work it out.
You didn't know how to work it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now you know how to work it out. Good. Sometimes things are like that. You just, like how you knew half of the line was 0.5, you didn't really think about dividing by 2 and multiplying by half and so on, but you did it anyway in your mind, right? But
Yes.
this is just the thinking process that you applied. We're applying it here to a different scenario. Good? All right. Thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. All right, viewers. So this is mathematics, all right? I know some of you out there would have been a bit challenging, but that's what we're here for. We're here to stumble together to work it out, all right? So the midpoint here is 5, 6. We have 1, 6 and 10, 6. 5, 6 would be dead in the middle, all right? So you'd be continuing along the number line, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, and so on. You have 5, 6 in the center here, which is where this question mark is. Then we would continue six on 6, 7, 6, 8, 6, and then we have 9, 6, and then we have 1.5. All right, no, actually this is 9, 6 here. 1.5 is what we get when we add 1, 6 to 1.5, right? 1.5, which is 9 on 6. We added that to our 1, 6, which is the beginning of the line. This is the end of the line. We added them together, and we got 10 over 6. And then to find the center of that line, we had to divide by 2. We learned that when we're dividing with fractions, we change the division sign into a multiplication sign, and we find the reciprocal of the multiplier, and we're going to get 10 over 6 multiplied by 1/2, and we cross cancel there. 10 and 2, common factor of 2. 2 into 2, 1, 2 into 10, 5, and we finally multiply the numerators and the denominators, and we're going to get 5 over 6. Okay, so you can see how the line here is broken down. I just added in those figures here for you, so you can see the symmetry in it and how 5, 6 is actually the midpoint in a graphical method, all right? Although it's not exactly drawn to scale with a ruler or anything, I hope that that gives you a visual for what we've just done there. So thank you so much, caller, and thank you as well, Andy, and for your input as well. All right, so we have another question here. Every 7th child at a party got an extra lollipop in their party bag. There were 40 children at the party. Expressed as a fraction in its lowest terms, the children who did not get an extra lollipop. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. And who am I speaking with?
You're
All right. Is it possible for you to just speak a little bit louder?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
You can give me a second to work it out.
Okay. Did you get a chance to read the question, though?
Yeah.
All right. So as soon as you have an idea, you just tell me, right? I'm going to read it again for the viewers out there. Viewers, you are supposed to have your pen and your pencil, paper, etc. as ready at hand as well to be working along with us, even if you're not calling in. Good? So every 7th child at a party got an extra lollipop in their bag. There were 40 children at the party. Expressed as a fraction in its lowest terms, the children who did not get an extra lollipop. Okay? So every 7th child gets one, 40 children at the party. We want the fraction in its lowest terms. Of course, we already know what that means. If you don't know, perchance you're in standard 3 going into 4 or standard 4 going into 5. You can watch our videos on fractions on our YouTube channel. Put the See Results on YouTube and you will find all of our introductory fraction videos there, complete with lots of questions to do. Okay? So caller, do you want to tell me what steps you're taking to solve the problem?
Yeah. Okay. First, yeah, sir.
I'm not hearing you very clearly.
I'm working at my book.
Okay, but what have you done so far, or what are you doing right now?
Okay, 7 and 1 is 8, right?
Okay.
So 8 divided by 40 is 5.
8 divided by 40 is 5.
Yes, it's
Mm-hmm. So what does that 5 mean?
1/8. 5 over 40. You break it down, you reduce and you get 1/8.
So 1/8 of the children, what? What happened to 1/8 of the children?
The children who did not get a extra lollipop.
Okay, but every 7 child did get a lollipop, right? So we want to know the fraction of the children who did not get an extra lollipop.
Okay, so 1.
All right. Okay. So our caller there, they made one error, all right? And they said that they added 1 to 7 and divided by 8 to get an answer of 5. Okay, so in actuality, 5 children did in fact receive a lollipop. Now, that's not because we divided by 8 though. But you know what? I'll give one more caller a chance to explain it, and then I'll explain it further if necessary, right? Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Nicholas. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
So what are your thoughts for this question, Nicholas?
Well, my thoughts of this question, right? If they say every 7 child gets an extra lollipop at the party bar,
Yes.
so you need to find how many children get extra lollipop.
Very
so what
good.
I did, I said 40 divided by 7, and that's 5, remainder 5, right? Got extra, 5 children got extra lollipop. So that means if 5 got extra lollipop, that means 35 didn't get any. And then you say the question expressed as the fraction in its lowest term, the children who did not get lollipop. So when you reduce 35 over 40, and you get 7/8.
Excellent work, Nicholas. Thank you so much, Nicholas. You've given me all the pieces here. I will explain it now more slowly to the audience, right? But well done. That is absolutely correct. All right, guys. So that is Nicholas there to help me out in a little tricky situation, right? So here's what's happening in this question. There are 40 children at the party. Look at the information given in the question. Every 7th child at a party got an extra lollipop. Okay, not every 8th child, but every 7th child. So we have to see, how many times there's a 7th child between 1 to 40. All right, from that first child to the 40th child. So we're going to divide by 7, and we're going to get 5 with a remainder of 5. But there are actually 5 7th children within this group of 40, okay? And I can show you what that means a little bit more clearly. Every 7th child at the party is going to get a lollipop in their bag. So then the 7th child will get 1. The 14th child would get 1. The 21st child would get 1. The 28th child would get 1. Then the 35th child would get 1. And the next 7th child would have to be the 42nd child. But we don't have 42 people at the party. We have 40 people, right? So how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 such children, right? If every 7th child is getting a lollipop, that means the 7th, 14th, 21st, 28th, and 35th child is getting a lollipop at the party. Okay? And what Jonathan did there, he simply divided 40 by 7. So there are 5 7th children within that group. And then you have a remainder of 5. Forget that remainder. This is the 5 we're interested in here. So there are 40 children in the party. In total, we subtract the 5 who did get the lollipop, and that leaves us with 35 children out of 40 who did not get a lollipop. All right? We want to express as a fraction in its lowest terms the children who did not get an extra lollipop. So we have to put the number of children who didn't get one, 35, over the total number of children at the party, which is 40. And, we have to reduce to its lowest terms now. So what is a common factor for 35 and 40? 5, probably the most obvious answer there, right? So 5 into 35 is 7, and 5 into 40 is 8. The only other common factor we have now is 1, and that wouldn't do anything to reduce it further. We'd still get 7 and 8 again if we divided both the numerator and the denominator by 1. So therefore, our answer is 7/8. So 7 over 8 children, 7 out of 8 children in the party did not get an extra lollipop. So that is the answer that we are looking for. So thank you so much for that answer and for your help, Nicholas. So let's look at another question here. There was a total of 170 persons in attendance at a concert. There were 50 adults present, as well as 3 times as many boys as there were girls. How many more boys were present than girls at the concert? So good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. And who am I speaking with?
You are speaking with Joseph Ross here.
Welcome, Mr. Joseph Ross. So what are your thoughts for this question?
Huh?
What are your thoughts here for this question?
Can you give me a second to work it out, please?
All right. I want you to tell me what you're doing while you're working it out, right?
Okay.
Don't be afraid to make a mistake. We want to hear.
Okay, so I'm taking away 170 from 50.
Okay.
And for the girls and boys, for the children,
Yeah.
I'm adding 3 and 1,
Okay.
and I'll get 4.
All right.
And then I will divide 120 by 4, and I'll get 30.
All right.
And the 30 children are boys, and girls, you'll multiply 30 by 3, and you'll get 90 girls.
All right. So you said you're dividing 100.
And then
you're
I'll
dividing
take away 90 from 30, 60 children.
All right. Okay. So your answer is
So
60.
the answer is 60 more.
All right. 60 more boys than girls, is it? Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. And that is absolutely correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Joseph. Okay, so I'm going to explain this one again more slowly. Some of our students, they think quite fast, so I won't be able to write as fast as they are talking there, right? So I'm going to break it down for you now, but I'm sure that his answer was correct. So there were a total of 170 persons in attendance at a concert. 50 were adults as well. Well, there were 50 adults present, as well as 3 times as many boys as there were girls. How many more boys were present than girls at the concert? So we have 170 persons in total, and 50 of those were adults. Our question is dealing here with boys and girls, so we have to eliminate the adults from the equation. Good? So we have 170, we subtract 50, which is the number of adults. Therefore, we have 120 children in attendance at the concert. Now, the question goes on to state that 3 times as many boys as there were girls. All right? So there are 3 times as many boys as there were girls. So there were more boys than girls, in other words. So we're just going to draw this block here to represent the girls in attendance. And there should be 3 equally sized blocks. All right, so my apologies for that, but I'm sure the students would have drawn it better with their pencil and pen and so on. There are 3 times on their ruler as many boys as girls in attendance. So therefore, the entirety of the student population in attendance there is broken up into quarters. All right, so we have 3 quarters being boys and 1 quarter of the children being girls. And the question wants to know how many more boys were present than girls at a concert. So we want to know how much 1 quarter is essentially. So therefore, our friend Joseph, he divided 120 by 4, and that correctly gave us 30. Good. So we have 30 being 1 quarter. And we'd want to know how many more boys there are than girls. And there are 3 times as many boys than girls. So if we multiply that 30 by 3, we're going to get 90 boys. And well, 1 by 30 for the girls, we're going to get 30 girls in attendance. And the question is, how many more boys than girls there are? So we can simply now take 90 and subtract 30 from it. And that will leave us with 60 more boys than girls. So that one should be pretty clear to all of our viewers out there, hopefully. This one wasn't terribly difficult, but we still had to interpret the question correctly. We had to eliminate those adults from the equation, figure out, the relationship between, or the proportions of between the boys and the girls. 3 times as many, divide by 4 there, and then the rest of the question was basic arithmetic, right? So hopefully everyone at home understood that particular problem. So we have another question here. 20% of the marbles in a bag were green, while 3/8 of the remaining marbles were blue. The rest of the marbles in the bag were 12 yellow marbles. How many marbles were there altogether in the bag? Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV. Hi, caller. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. And who am I speaking with?
Zafira.
Welcome, Zafira. So, Zafira, what are your thoughts for this question?
I'm reading the question now.
All right, you want to read it out for our audience?
Okay. 20% of the marbles in a bag were green, while 3/8 of the remaining marbles were blue. The rest of the marbles in the bag were 12 yellow marbles. How many marbles were there altogether in the bag?
Yes. So I want you to tell me, what is the first thing you're thinking when you read that?
The first thing I'm thinking is to put 20 over 100 and reduce it.
Okay. Why over 100?
Because percentage is always out of 100.
Excellent. And what is 20% as a fraction now?
1/5.
1/5 in its lowest terms, right? So that 1/5 represent what type of marbles?
Green marbles.
Green marbles. Very good. Now what do we do from here? What does the question go on to say?
It says 3/8 of the remaining marbles were blue.
Right. So 1/5 of the marbles are green. So what fraction would the remaining marbles be represented by?
4/5.
4/5, right?
Yes.
And we are told that 3/8 of the remaining marbles were blue. So in order to get that fraction of marbles that are blue, what do we have to do now?
You multiply 4/5 by 3/8.
Excellent. So we multiply 4/5 by 3/8, and this will give us the fraction of blue marbles, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you can help me work this out.
Which is 3 over 10.
Okay, so 4 by 3 is 12, and 5 by 8 is 40. Did you do that?
No, I just got to the point.
You got to the point? All right. So I'm guessing that you cross-cancel there. Is that what you
Yes.
did? You said 4 into 4, 1.
0.8, 2.
4 into 8, 2. All right. And you said 1 by 3 is 3. And 5 by 2 is 10, right?
Yes.
All right. You got to the point. I like that. So, therefore, 3/10 of the marble were what color? Three-tenths of the marbles were what color, Zafira?
Blue.
Blue. Excellent. So the question says that the rest of the marbles in the bag were 12 yellow marbles. The rest of the marbles in the bag were 12 yellow marbles. So how do we determine what fraction of the marbles were yellow? Any ideas?
No.
Okay, okay. All right, so I will help you out now. So we know that 20% of the marbles were green, and you told me that that's 1/5, right?
Yes.
And 3/8 of the remaining marbles were blue. And you said the remaining marbles were 4/5, and 3/8 of 4/5 is 3/10, straight to the point, right?
Yes.
Good. So what does 1/5 and 3/10 make together? What do I have to do?
Add.
Add. All right, so help me out there.
Which is 5 over 10, which is equal to a half.
5 over 10, which is equal to a half. Good?
Yes.
All right. I will just continue along with you. I'll explain it back to the audience after. So if 5/10 is a half, is green and blue together, right? Then what fraction is yellow? The green and blue together make up 1/2 of the marbles, and the rest of the marbles are 12 yellow marbles. So what fraction of the marbles are yellow then? If 1/2 is green and blue together, and we only have yellow marbles remaining, what fraction would the yellow marbles represent?
A half?
Right. So 1/2 are green and blue. So the remaining marbles would be 1 minus 1/2, which is 1/2, right?
Yes.
And 1/2 of the marbles are yellow. And how many yellow marbles do we have? We have 12 yellow marbles. So how many marbles would we have in total in the bag now?
You flip the half,
Yeah.
multiply by 12 to find the total.
All right.
So it'll be 2 over 1 multiplied
Yeah.
by 12 over 1.
And how much is that?
24.
24,
Marbles.
right? So 24 over 1, which is 24 marbles in the bag. Good?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Zafira.
You're welcome.
All right. Straight to the point, guys. Let's recap this question once more, right? 20% of the marbles in a bag were green, while 3/8 of the remaining marbles were blue. The rest of the marbles in the bag were 12 yellow marbles. How many marbles were there altogether in the bag? And as you can see, we had several steps to calculate this particular question. So the 20%, we know the relationship between percent and fractions, right? 20% means out of 100, so we put 20 over 100. That can be reduced to 1/5. In total agreement there with Zafira. And 3/8 of the remaining marbles were blue. Not that 3/8 of the marbles were blue, 3/8 of the remaining marbles were blue. So if 1/5 of the marbles are green, we have to find out what remains. If 1/5 is green, then 4/5 remain, because 1 take away 1/5. 1 in this case is the same as 5 over 5, right? And that gave us 4/5. And 3/8 of 4/5 is equal to the number of, or the fraction that represents the blue marbles. So we multiply 4/5 by 3 on 8. Good. Zafira cross cancel there. But you could have also just said 4 by 3 is 12 and 5 by 8 is 40 and reduced. Either way is fine. Good. So we got 3/10 of the marbles being blue, and we have 1/5 of the marbles being green. And then the question says the rest of the marbles in the bag were 12 yellow marbles. So we only have 3 options in the bag. We have green, we have blue, we have yellow. We've already determined the fraction of green marbles. We've now determined the fraction of blue marbles. And what remains is yellow. And we know that there are 12 yellow marbles, all right? So we have a number there to tie in together with our fraction. So what fraction is made up of the green and the blue marbles together? 1/5 is green and 3/10 are blue. So we add those together. We have 1/5 plus 3 over 10. Now we can find an equivalent fraction for 1/5. Because we have 10 as the denominator here and 3/10, we have to multiply by 2. So if we multiply by 2 in the denominator, we should also multiply by 2 in the numerator. And that gives us 2 over 10, right? So 2/10 plus 3/10 gives us 5 over 10, which is the same as 1/2. And the question said the rest of the marbles, or the rest of the marbles in the bag, are 12 yellow marbles. So green and blue together made up 1/2 of all the marbles, and then the rest of them are 11 yellow, or 12 yellow marbles. So therefore, what fraction of the bag of marbles does yellow represent? If 1/2 is green and blue, we have to say 1, subtract that 1/2, which is also 1/2, all right? And again here, we can rewrite or restate 1 as 2/2, if that makes it easier for you to see. So 1/2 is green and blue combined, therefore the remaining half represents the 12 yellow marbles. And as we learned, if we want to figure out the whole, in that case we have to find the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2/1, and we multiply that by the number of yellow marbles in the bag, which was 12, and we're going to get 24/1, which means that we have a total of 24 marbles in the bag in total. All right, so I'm going to take a break here now for 2 minutes, and when we return, we'll start talking about simple interest. We've reached the end of the line here with decimals, fractions, and percentages from the second section of the paper, and we're going to just look now at some simple interest type questions before we move on to the third section, okay? So just rejoin me in 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors, and roti makers. Try our high-quality unbleached bromate-free all-purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg, and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited, 665-3336, or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to C Results on IBN TV, as well as the IBN TV Facebook page and the C Results Facebook page. So you've just finished our, pretty long journey into decimals, fractions, and percentages from the second section of that SEA paper, good, in the number strand. So there's another topic that we have to cover in order for us to say that we've done a pretty fair job at covering all the questions that could come from section 2 in terms of the number type questions, good? And then we're going to be dedicating the next couple of sessions probably to some questions that would come from the third section of the paper, and then we're going to just be looking at papers after papers in terms of practice from start to finish with you. So let's just talk about simple interest. It's a topic that comes all the time. It's one that you have to be familiar with because you will be tested on it, right? So when money is lent or borrowed from banks and financial institutions, there's usually a charge for being given the facility of borrowing, all right? And when loans are repaid, it usually consists of what is borrowed or what was borrowed, in addition to the interest charged for borrowing. So we have some terms here that we need to be familiar with because they come up often and they are even there in the formulas that we use and so on. So we have the principal, which is the sum that is borrowed. We have the rate, which is expressed as a percentage to calculate the interest charged on the principal. We have the time, and notice principal represented by P, rate by R, and time represented by T, is the time given to repay what was borrowed, and that's usually in years. And we have here, these are the formulae, right? You have the formula for simple interest being principal multiplied by the rate multiplied by the time, and the amount to be repaid is the principal represented here by P plus the simple interest that is charged, okay? So that would be the total amount that you owe to the bank after you've borrowed, at least in a simple interest scenario, good? So if time actually is given in months, it isn't always given in years, we have to express it as a fraction of a year. Good, and we should, try to familiarize ourselves with these things. We have 3 months here being 1/4 of a year, 6 months being 1/2 of a year, and 9 months being 3/4 of a year. If for some reason you don't quite understand why that is, you should, if you just apply a little bit of critical thinking there. There are 12 months in the year, so 3 months would be 3 on 12, and that could be reduced to 1/4, right? So, and likewise, you do the same for 6 months, you're going to get 6 on 12, which is 1/2, 9 months, 3/4, 4 months, 1/3, 8 months being 2/3. And here we have an interesting scenario of 18 months. Sometimes the questions, it does not have to be 18 months, but you have to be able to convert the number of months into an improper fraction. In this case, we have here 1.5 years, all right? The first 12 months being the first year, and the remaining 6 months comprising 1/2 of another year. Good, so principal by rate by time. Again, we know what the principal is, the amount borrowed, the rate that is charged or expressed as a percentage, the time in years, and if it's not, even in a full year, we know that we have to convert those years into fractions of a year, all right? And typically they would use these sorts of fractions. We would find most common, 1/4, 1/2 a year, 3/4, and so on, okay? So please bear that in mind. So we're going to actually try this out now on a question, and we'll probably rack up with the mathematics there for today. So Jaden borrowed $12,000 from the bank for 4 years at a rate of 5% per annum. The total amount due to the bank must be repaid in equal monthly payments. Calculate the monthly payment. So good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. And who am I speaking with?
Andian.
Hey, welcome back, Andian. Sorry we lost your call earlier today. So what are your thoughts for this question?
My thoughts are you multiply 12,000 by 4 years by 5%.
Yes.
And you'll divide it by 100.
Okay. And how much would that be? I'm giving you a little chance to work it out there.
Yes, sir.
Making some progress there, Andian?
Right, sir. And you must add back the amount that you borrowed, which is 12,000. So you add back 12,000 to that.
And what was the value that you got? Did you get for the simple interest?
Huh?
What value did you get for the simple interest?
2,400.
Right, 2,400. So that's just the simple interest, and we have to add that now to the principal to calculate the amount, right?
Hold on, let's go and add it.
Okay.
Just now. So, and you'll get $14,400.
Yes.
And then after you'll divide the $14,400 divided by 4 years, and you change the 4 years into months, which will be 4 by 12, because 12 years in a month, and you'll get 48. And you divide the 14,400 by the 48.
Right.
Hold on.
You divide it by 48, right? 14,400 by 48, good.
And you'll get $300.
All right.
And $300 will be the amount you pay every month.
Excellent. So that is very correct, Andy Ann. Thank you so much for your call.
You're most welcome, sir.
All right. So just a quick recap before we go. Simple interest questions aren't, very, very difficult. They can be a bit tricky sometimes. This is a very straightforward one. So Jaden borrowed $12,000 from the bank for 4 years at a rate of 5% per annum. The total amount due to the bank must be repaid in equal monthly payments. Calculate the monthly payment. So at first we have to calculate the simple interest, principal by rate by time. Principal here being $12,000, the rate being 5% or 5,100 by 4 years, right? It's given in years here. And that gives us $2,400. The total amount is the principal plus the simple interest, which is $14,400. It has to be repaid in equal monthly payments over 4 years, right? 12 years in a month 12 months in a year, as Andy Ann just told us. That is 48 months in total to repay. So we divide that total amount, 14,400 by 48, and we're going to get a monthly payment of $300, and that is the answer for that question. So we will resume with the mathematics on Thursday at 5 p.m., God willing. Don't go anywhere. We have English language arts coming up next with Ms. Nyla. It's been my pleasure. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, guys, and welcome to See Results. I'm Ms. Nyla, and you are joining me today for English Language Arts. So you just completed mathematics with Sir Ijaz. As we usually do on a Monday, we have mathematics ELA on a Tuesday. We have ELA creative writing on a Thursday. We have mathematics and creative writing again. So for English language arts today, we will be continuing with our SEA practice type papers. So last day we were able, or last 2 weeks actually, we were able to complete 2 papers, actually 3 different papers. And today we will be moving on with another paper. So last week, we just completed the first task in this paper, which was actually the spelling. And currently, we are on still section 1, but we are on to task 2, which is punctuation and capitalization. And then we'll move on to grammar and, of course, section 2. Before we go on, I must say welcome to all of our viewers, whether you are joining us from the comfort of your homes or so you're watching us on television, or those of you joining us on our live stream via the See Results page or the IBN TV 8 page. Right, so just a reminder, guys, to join our Edmodo class. If you aren't already a participant, I will share a little bit of information later down to the end of the program concerning that if you're a new member. And of course, to all of our new viewers, welcome. Right, and not to mention, we have lots and lots of content already uploaded to our YouTube channel via the See Results link, so don't forget to check out that. Right, guys, so we're going to read this passage together, as we usually do, and then I'm going to take calls to help me with corrections. So remember, this is punctuation and capitalization. We know that this section is actually worth 6 marks, right? So 1 per line, or 1 error per line. Bushfires, also known as forest fires, are fires that occur in scrubs, forests, and woodlands. According to the Forestry Division of Trinidad and Tobago, they can be caused by the following: lit cigarettes, burning garbage, and slash and burn practices. Right, so the lines are open. Let's take some calls. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
This is Jonathan Senanan.
Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
I am fine today, Miss.
So, Jonathan, before we go on to this task, tell me about how are you feeling in preparation for knowing the new date for SE exam? Do you think you are ready mentally?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm doing my best home on studying every day now.
You certainly are. We can see that via our Edmodo class, and of course your calls and dedication every day. So, great job to you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Miss.
So, go ahead with the first line there.
Okay, Miss. So the first error in line 1 is bush. It's supposed to have a capital B because it's starting a sentence.
That's correct. Thank you, Jonathan, for your call.
You're welcome.
Right, so let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Okay. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi, welcome to See Results.
Hello?
You are live with us.
Hello?
Good evening, caller.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Okay, so we seem to have a little bit of trouble there. Just a reminder, guys, to lower down the volume on your television set when you're calling, okay? Let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hi, good evening. Welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Samia.
Nice to have you with us. So go ahead with line 2. Give us the missing punctuation mark there.
It's supposed to have a colon after the word N.
After the word N?
No, Miss. I mean, it's supposed to have a comma after the word scrub.
Excellent. So that's correct, okay? So
Thank you, Miss.
don't go as yet. Are you currently writing the SE exam this year?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, and how do you feel about the new date?
I feel excited. I feel excited, Miss.
Are you ready?
Write the exam.
Are you ready? Or do you think you will be ready?
Yeah.
Yes, you certainly will be, okay? So continue to watch See Results. We are certainly going to get you guys ready. Thanks so much for your call.
No problem, Miss.
Okay, so let's move on to line 3. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Good evening, caller.
Hi, afternoon.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Regan.
Hi, Regan. So help us with the third line.
Sure. Just zoom in. All right, thank you. So it's supposed to be capital D for division because it's the name of a place.
Excellent job, Regan. Regan, are you in standard 5?
Yes, I am. All right, then I say.
Okay, and how do you feel about that?
Already.
Okay, that's great.
I really want to get over and done it because it's kind of stressful waiting all this time and they keep shifting the date. So now that we have a solid date, I could like focus on that and like just finish it so I could relax.
That's great to hear, Regan.
Thank you.
Keep up that good work. All right, let's move on. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Good evening, caller.
Hello?
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Who am I speaking with?
I'm Riyaz bin Mohammed.
Welcome.
First time caller.
Great to have you with us. So help us with number 10 or line 4.
Number 10. Australia and Tobago, they can be called.
Right.
Okay. The error that spot is Tobago because since that is a name, the T is supposed to be capital.
Excellent job. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay. Okay, you're welcome. Bye.
Okay, bye. All right, let's go on. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Hi, who am I speaking with?
Jaden.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good.
Okay, great. Nice to have you with us. So help us with number 11. Can you see number 11 on your screen?
Yes, ma'am. You're putting a colon after following because you are going to list things.
Great job. Thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
All right, let me just write that properly. Great. And final line on number 12. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Hi, who am I speaking with?
I am Shivragam.
Well, nice to have you with us. So help us with number 12 or this final line in this punctuation and capitalization task.
You're supposed to have like a slash right after burning, burn.
A slash, so I'm writing a slash after the word burn, is that it?
Yeah, I don't know. No, not like that. A comma.
So a comma here? Or is it an inverted comma?
Inverted.
Right,
Inverted.
where am I putting that?
You're putting it either before, I think is
it there?
After practice.
So slash and burn practices or burn?
Burn.
Burn. So slash and burn, close inverted, practices, right?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys, so I'm just going to pause on the calls for a few seconds. Let's just go through this passage. All right, let's analyze. So bushfires, also known as forest fires, are. So, of course, we know when you're starting a sentence, there must be a capital letter. So we change that common B to a capital B. Fires that occur in scrubs, forests, and woodlands. Right, so we have a list of items here. To separate them, we use commas. So after scrubs, there should be a comma. According to the Forestry Division of Trinidad and Tobago, Forestry Division is the name of a place, it's a proper noun. So not only is the F in capital, but the D also has to be capital. Of Trinidad and Tobago, of course, we know that's the name of a place, again, proper noun, so it has to be a capital letter. They can be caused by the following. When we are listing items, we use a colon in front of that list, right? So, colon, lit cigarettes, burning garbage, and slash and burn practices. Slash and burn, right? That's the name of the practice, so we have inverted commas there, right? So, we are fine with this task for now. If you have gotten all of this correct, then you have earned 6 marks. Let's move on to grammar. The national birds of we country are scarlet ibis and the cocorico, who are protected by law. The scarlet ibis reside mostly in the Caroni swamp. Amazingly, it is brown where young and turns red as they grow older. The cocorico lives most in the forests of Tobago. Just a reminder, guys, this is grammar task, which means there is one grammatical error in each line. You have to underline the grammatical error. In this case, you will just give me the grammatical error and, of course, the correction to that. So let's take our first call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
This is Jonathan Sinanan again.
Okay, Jonathan. So help us with number 13.
Number 13 is we, and it has to be our.
Right. Any specific reason why?
Nah, just know it out.
All right. No problem, Jonathan. Thank you for your call.
Okay.
Right, guys. Don't worry. I will explain that shortly. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. All right. Let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, caller. Are you there?
Hello?
Hi, welcome.
Hello?
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes, miss.
Okay, is this Jaden again?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so help us with number 14.
You're changing who to that?
That. Any other possible answers there?
I think which can we work also.
Excellent job. Thank you so much for your call.
Yes, miss.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Is this Jaden?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So, Jaden, I'm going to take another call so someone else can get a chance. Is that okay? Okay, I think we lost Jaden there, but I would like someone else to call us, right? We have many callers. Some of you say you don't get through. Now is your chance, right? So let's go to this line. By law, the scarlet ibis reside mostly in the, right? Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with this line, and then I will take another call. Right, so the scarlet ibis resides, so our error here is reside, mostly in the. So why is the error reside? We should find out shortly. Actually, I have a call on the line, so let me see. Good evening, welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, caller. Hello.
Okay, and we lost that call. Just a reminder again, please lower the volume or mute your television, okay? Right, the scarlet ibis resides, so it should actually be resides. And as we are writing the answers here, those of you who aren't calling, but you are doing the practice or exercise with us at home, you should know the reasoning behind each of these answers, okay? And of course, we will discuss it shortly. Moving on. Mostly in the Caroni swamp. Amazingly, it is brown where? Right, so let's take this call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Can you hear me? You are live on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Jaden, welcome back. So, all right, Jaden, help us with number 16. Are you there, Jaden?
Mr. changing where to when.
Where to when. Excellent job. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much once again.
Well,
All right, let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Good evening.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Reagan again.
Okay, Reagan, so help us with number 17.
Sure. So you have to change grows to grow.
All right. Don't go as yet. Tell me why.
Because they're talking about If it's one bird,
right,
it will be grows, but it's plural, so it's more than one baby bird.
Okay, so that part is correct, right? But I just want to point out to you here, this subject pronoun they, is that singular or plural?
Oh, that's plural.
Right, so therefore, grows in this context will be correct. But they here, are they referring to more than one bird or is it one bird?
They're referring to more than one.
Are you sure? Read that entire sentence over from amazingly.
Sure. Young. Oh, it's one bird.
Right, which word there suggests that it is one?
Young. Wait, no. Hold on.
Take your time. Which word are they speaking of here? Can you repeat that?
Is it twins?
Are you there, Regan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, which word did you say?
Twins.
No. All right, so let's read the sentence together. Amazingly, it is brown when young and turns red as they grows older. Right, so but the previous sentence says the scarlet ibis resides mostly in the Caroni swamp. So which bird are they speaking of here?
The scarlet ibis.
Right, so the scarlet ibis, so it's one bird. Now that was your clue, and also your second sentence which says amazingly it. That subject pronoun there, it suggests that it is?
One bird.
Right, it is brown when young and turns red as, so what is the error here then?
It's supposed to be it.
Excellent. So it's supposed to be it.
It.
Great job.
Bye.
Okay, bye, Regan. Right, and I will elaborate on that point just a little bit more. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Good evening, caller.
Hello?
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
This is Riaza.
Welcome. So would you like to help us with the final line?
Hello?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, welcome to C Results. Who am I speaking with?
Riaz.
Okay, great, Riaz. So help us with number 18.
Okay. Cookery lives most in forests of Tobago,
Okay.
So the error is most because if you read it, it won't flow with the sentence. Because the cookery lives mostly in the forests of Tobago.
Right, so I just want to say this word for me, cocorico.
Oh, sorry, cocorico.
Right, that's one of our national birds, okay? But you are
Yes.
correct. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to pause on the calls for a second, guys. Let's go through this passage. The national birds of our country are the, right? So we are changing that subject pronoun we to the possessive adjective our. Now we did, of course, we did a lesson with subject pronouns and then possessive pronouns and possessive adjectives and so on. Now we know it's a possessive adjective as a noun comes after that pronoun there. So if you aren't, you know, too capable, or if this is one of your weaknesses, you know, you're not sure about your pronouns and identifying your possessive adjectives and so on, or when to use them and how to use them, go back to our lessons. Of course, on our YouTube channel, all the lessons are there and it's labeled for you, so it's easy for you to find, right? Use that as a learning resource. Just refer to it whenever you are forgetting, maybe not doing enough revision, or sometimes we just simply forget these things, okay? We don't remember they are called possessive adjectives specifically. But you need to know, you don't need to know exactly that is a possessive adjective, but you need to know the correction. Of course, it would help if you know them by topic. Right? Scarlet ibis and the cocorico, who are protected. So now we are dealing with relative pronouns here. So we are changing who, because who is used to refer to people. So who can be replaced with that or which. Either of those relative pronouns will be correct and suitable there. The scarlet ibis resides mostly in the. So the scarlet ibis, that's one word they are referring to there. So a singular subject. So your subject is singular, therefore it is followed by a singular verb. Now, at first glance, reside may sound singular because it does not end with an S, right? But that's where we are mistaken. Remember, our singular verbs end with S, right? So don't mix up your verbs with your nouns. So it should actually be the scarlet ibis resides rather than reside. Singular subject followed by a singular verb. In the Carney swamp, amazingly, it is brown when, right? So changing the adverb where to the adverb when. And of course, we learned about adverbs and how to use them. Adverbs of time, place, manner, extent, and so on. Young and turns red as it grows older. Just as we pointed out earlier, we are speaking of one word, right? So this was your first clue, the scarlet ibis. Second sentence, amazingly, it is brown, right? So you have to keep with that same subject or the same subject, meaning that it is singular, right? So they refers to plural or more than one. Now, I understood why Reagan was confused here. And of course, if you're just reading this through and you're not taking your time, or even if you are, it's very easy for you to get confused with, right? So make sure you read your sentence very carefully. And how can you avoid this error? Simply go back to where the sentence begins. Now, we read the line and identify the error, right? So that's probably where the confusion went or came about. So to avoid that, simply go back to where the sentence began so you will understand it properly, right? You don't want to miss anything there, any clues. So we know that they should replace with it. And of course, then the verb here, grows, will agree with the subject it, right? It grows, not they grows. It will actually be they grew. So if you understand subject-verb agreement. The Cocorico lives mostly in the forests of Tobago. So most, and we're replacing that with the adverb mostly, right? So any of these rules that you are confused by, don't forget and don't be shy, don't even be lazy. We have resource videos available for each of these topics. So that brings us to the end of section 1. So remember, guys, section 1 is spelling, punctuation, capitalization, and grammar. Right? That's a total of 30 marks. So I hope that you accumulated that 30 in total. Of course, we completed the spelling last day. Right, now we're moving on to section 2, comprehension, a non-fiction passage, right? Food preservation. So we're going to read this and then we're going to take some calls for answering questions. Preserving food is as important today as it was thousands of years ago when our ancestors did it. The most obvious reason for food preservation is to prevent food from spoiling quickly, so that it may be available for longer periods of time. Sometimes we might have a huge harvest of crops and can't use them all immediately. Preserving them will allow us to use them throughout the year. Long ago, this was necessary during times of food shortage, drought, or war. Preserved foods also helped voyagers survive long trips by ship. One other reason for preserving food is to add flavors. For example, salted fish in Caribbean cuisine was introduced around the 16th century. It is still popular today and is boiled to get rid of excess salt. Sometimes, preservation helps food to release nutrients. The main aim of preserving is to create an environment that prevents microorganisms from surviving. It also stops food from naturally spoiling. If we eat spoiled food, we can get food poisoning and may vomit, have diarrhea, or become nauseous. Our ancestors preserved their foods by drying them in the sun. Once the climate was hot enough, they also salted them. These methods removed or drew out any moisture in the food that helped bacteria survive. In places where there was snow, they froze the food in ice. The newest method of preserving food is by canning food. Canning. Food is stored in a jar or can be heated so that microorganisms are killed. When the jar or can cools later on, a vacuum seal is created and microorganisms cannot enter. Refrigeration is also another quick and easy way of preserving food. Nowadays, the refrigerator is a common household appliance that allows food to that allows food to be too cold for bacteria to thrive. Right, so let's go on to our first question there. According to the passage, what are two main reasons food is preserved? Let's take a call to help us. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Okay, I'm not hearing this call, so we'll take another call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, caller. Are you there? Good evening. Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Reagan.
Okay, Reagan. So according to the passage, what are two main reasons food is preserved?
Okay, so the two main reasons food is preserved. You can just zoom in on the passage here, please.
Sure, just give it 1 second. Sure. And let me know when you're ready for me to move on to the next paragraph, okay? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the two main reasons are it prevents food from being spoiled quickly.
Right.
Hold on, non-preserving them. And preserving them will allow us to use them later on.
Okay. Thank you so much, Reagan, for calling.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. So one reason is to prevent food from spoiling, right? So therefore you can use them later on. But another reason is to give food more flavor. All right. Next question. Give two modern methods of preserving food that are described in the passage. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi. Good evening, caller.
Afternoon.
Hi. Welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Samia.
Okay, Samia, welcome back. So I want you to give two methods or modern methods of preserving food that are described in the passage.
Okay, ma'am. The two newest methods of preserving food that is stated in the passage is by canning and by refrigerating.
Excellent job. Thank you so much.
No problem, miss.
Right, so one modern method of preserving food is through canning. Another method of preserving food is through refrigeration. And if you think about it, those are usually the methods, or those are the methods that we are using presently, because it did mention modern. Right, what can happen if someone consumes food that is not preserved properly? Suggest a reason this might happen to the person. Good evening, welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Hi, welcome back. So would you like to read the question and then I'll go on to the passage for you?
Yes, miss.
Okay, go ahead. You can read it aloud if you wish.
What can happen if someone consumes food that is not preserved properly? Suggest a reason this might happen to the person. If someone don't store the food properly, they might get food poisoning.
Right. Anything else there?
And they may vomit, have diarrhea, or become nauseous.
Excellent job. Thank you so much for your call.
You're welcome.
If someone consumes food that is not preserved properly, right, so not stored properly, but rather preserved properly, they might get food poisoning. Right, and of course the additional details within the passage. This may happen because the food has bacteria in it and the person's body is trying to get rid of that bacteria. Right, so like think about when you are ill, how your body responds to that. Right, words from the first paragraph that are similar to the following words. All right, guys, so we're going to come back and continue this question. It's actually time for Maghrib, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum, good evening guys. Welcome back to C Results. I'm Miss Nyla and you are joining me or rejoining me for English Language Arts today. So just before the break, we completed section 1 and we are now on to section 2, comprehension, right? So we're on number 22. So let's go ahead with our questions. Right, words from the first paragraph that are similar to the following words: instantly and avoid. Right, the lines are open. Feel free to call us and share your answers with us. Okay, so I'm just holding on there. Right, guys. So just remember that your responses may vary, right? So that is fine, but as long as your answer is closest to the answers that we give or that you share here, it will be correct, okay? So don't worry about if you don't have the exact answer, right? Once you have the main idea of the question. All right, we have a call on the line. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
This is Zubair.
Nice to have you with us. So would you like to read this question for us and then I'll go to the passage?
Yes.
Okay.
Write words from the first paragraph that are similar to the following words: instantly and avoid.
All right. So do you want to take them one by one? So instantly first?
Yeah.
Okay. Take your time, read it through. You could take your time, read it through. You can also read aloud if you wish. Maybe that might help.
Instantly?
Yes.
Means right away or immediately?
Excellent. And your second word was avoid, which is...
Yeah. Avoid?
Yes.
Is to not do or prevent.
Excellent job, Zubair. Thank you for calling.
Okay, thank you.
Right, guys, so you're seeing here how our vocabulary skills are coming into play, right? That's very important that we, continuously learn new words as well as keep reading. So instantly also means same as immediately, and avoid, prevent. All right, let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hi, evening.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Regan again.
So Regan, read this question for us and I'll go to the passage.
Okay, sure. Explain the meaning of the word excess.
And I highlighted the word excess there for you so it's easy to find, okay?
Okay. Okay, so the meaning of the word excess is like more of something that you don't want.
Excellent. Right, so that is correct.
Thank you,
right,
bye.
So okay, bye, Regan. The word excess means more than something is needed, right? Or more of something that is not required. In ancient times, how did climate determine the way foods were preserved? Use information in the passage for your answer. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Okay, Jaden, welcome back. So go ahead and read the question and I'll turn to the passage.
In ancient times, how did the climate determine the way foods were preserved? Use information in the passage for your answer.
Okay, Jaden, so what does ancient mean?
Something that is older, that was in long ago.
Long ago in this case, right? Okay, go ahead and read through the passage.
It's missing ancient time. They preserve food by drying them in the sun.
Right. And what else?
They also salted them.
Great job. Thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
Right, guys. So In ancient times, food were preserved by being dried in the sun in hot climates. In cold climates, when there was snow, foods were preserved by being frozen in the ice. Right, so the question said in ancient times, how did climate determine the way foods were preserved? Right, so going back to that point where they salted them, right, that would refer to the hot climate as well. So great job there, guys. Moving on. In your own words, explain how preservation stops bacteria from growing in foods. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Okay, let's try another call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Please hang up.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to See Results. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening there with the lines. Right, let's hold on a couple seconds for some callers to join us. Just remember, when you're answering questions with comprehension and poetry, how you go about answering your questions. You will notice that when we're answering questions, we take the initial part of your answer from the question itself. So we use the stem of the question to answer or to give the answers. Right? So if you lack in that area, you don't answer in complete sentences, please put that into practice. Now is about that time. Right? Please practice answering in full or complete sentences. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Josiah Sibrat.
Nice to have you with us, Josiah. So can you read this question for us, and I'll go through the passage?
Okay, hold on.
Sure. Can you see the question or not?
That anyone who has explained how preservation. The answer is how preservation can stop bacteria. It kills the surfaces that. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello?
Yes, I am here.
It kills the bacteria that is on the moisture because of the soil. It absorbs, like, how can I say it? It saps up all the moisture from the food.
I understand what you mean, right? And I'm sure if you were writing this in an exam, that you would have a little more time to think about it and put it into a complete sentence, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, but thank you so much for calling. Right, so preservation stops bacteria from growing in foods by making the area surrounding the food one in which bacteria cannot survive. Right, and of course, I know he would have had a chance, and even if he's looking over this video, right, rewatching it, he will have a chance to come up with a better answer, right, or a complete answer. What will happen if salted fish is not boiled before it is eaten? Right, can you think about that? Can you imagine how it will taste? Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Hi, welcome back. So go ahead.
What will happen if salted fish is not boiled before it is eaten?
Can you see the passage, or do we need to zoom in there for you?
You could zoom in a little bit, please.
Yes. Guys, can we just zoom in, please? Thank you.
Miss, if you don't boil it before you eat it, it will not release the nutrients that need to be released.
Right, but okay. So that's partly correct, right? But the question is asking specifically about saltfish, or not saltfish, right? Or salted foods then. So if you eat, say, saltfish, for example, without boiling it, how will it taste?
It will taste raw.
Raw, or what about
uncooked?
This excess salt? Right? Would it be salty?
Yes, ma'am.
Extremely salty, right?
Yes,
so just going back to that question, what would happen if salted fish is not boiled before it is eaten? Simply, simple enough, if salted fish is not boiled before it is eaten, it will be extremely salty, right, from the excess salt that was used to preserve it. Understand?
Yes, miss.
Okay, thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
Right, such a dedicated student always tries his best. Suggest 2 reasons for refrigerators becoming a common household appliance. Use information from the passage to support your answer. Good evening, welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Okay, and we lost that call. Do we have another? Good evening, welcome to C Results.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, this is Regan.
Yes, Regan, so go ahead.
Suggest 2 reasons for refrigerators becoming a common household appliance. Use information from the passage for your answer. Just go back to the passage, please.
Sure. Are you there, Regan? Okay, I think we lost Regan there. Good evening, welcome to C Results.
Good evening.
Okay, welcome back, Jaden. Help us with this question. Suggest 2 reasons for refrigerators becoming a common household appliance. Use information from the passage to support your answer.
Because refrigerators is also another quick way and easy way of preserving food.
Right, but, okay, so what is the reason exactly? So that's one reason. What's another reason? So that's the first part of your answer. So just another reason. Refrigerator or refrigerators are common in the house.
That they also allow food to be too cold for bacteria to thrive.
Excellent job. Thanks again for your call.
You're welcome.
Right, so 2 reasons for refrigerators becoming a household appliance. They are easy to use, they preserve foods quickly. Of course, preserving is the main idea, right, behind refrigerators. Do you agree that preserving food today is as important as it was thousands of years ago? Give a reason for your answer. All right, good evening, welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Okay, we lost that call. All right, so just going to hold on a couple seconds. Let's see if we have someone else to join us. All right. Okay, let's move ahead. Do you agree that preserving food today? Okay, we have a caller, guys. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Hi, this is Regan again.
Okay, Regan, go ahead.
Okay. Do you agree that preserving food today is as important as it was thousands of years ago? Give a reason for your answer. I think it's still important because today, if we didn't preserve it, we wouldn't be able to eat because it would have been spoiled and we would have been end up getting sick.
Right, so our foods will spoil quickly, right?
It will spoil quickly without preservation, yeah.
Right. Yes, I agree that, oh, thank you again, Regan. Yes,
You're
I
welcome.
agree that preserving food today is as important as it was long ago because we still need food to survive, right? Just as Regan rightfully said, and there is still the risk of food spoiling due to bacteria. So guys, that brings us to the end of our comprehension. We're now going to move on to, usually what we do, we move on to poetry, which is next in line after comprehension. We have about 5 minutes again, so what we will do actually is we're going to move on to the graphic. And tomorrow for English Language Arts, of course, we will continue with our poem, right? As our graphics, just a couple questions that should not take us too long. All right, so let's go to the graphic. So we're going to read it together, and then I'm going to take some calls. All right, table of contents, Unit 1, a healthy foundation. Chapter 1, An Introduction to Healthy Living, right, on page 2. Chapter 2, Building Healthy Habits, page 9. Unit 2, Your Diet and Physical Activity. Chapter 3, Physical Activity for Your Life and Body, which is on page 10. Chapter 4, Eating Right, page 21. Chapter 5, Managing Your Weight, page 38. Unit 3, Your Mental and Emotional Health. Chapter 6, Building Better Mental Health, page 39. Chapter 7, Managing a Stressful Life, page 45. Chapter 8, Mental and Emotional Issues, page 59. Your glossary can be found on page 60 and your index on page 62. Right, so it is important, and this will come in your comprehension skills throughout your years in primary school, you know, where you did activities of using and also developing a table of contents for your projects and so on. Right, so you must know what a table of contents look like, and this is a perfect example here. So you have your topic, and then you have your subtopics, right, or the chapters listed under that topic. And to your right-hand side, we have the numbers of those pages in which each of those chapters begin. And you will note that these numbers here are not going 1, 2, 3, 4, right, like consecutively, because as we know with table of contents, we usually just put the page that the chapter begins or whatever topic begins on, right? To find the number of pages between chapters, you have to count them. Yeah, so in a graphic, as we usually say, we pay attention to font, right? We pay attention to the layout of it, if something is written in bold, if something is written in italic, if there's a fine print, right? So in this case, look at this graphic carefully. Think about, you know, the upcoming questions that they will ask based on this. Notice to the end of the table of contents, here they had a glossary and index also, right? So if you don't know what glossary means or what index means, you should try to figure it out probably before we get to those questions. And yes, we have questions based on that, right? As we usually say with a graphic, each and every piece of information, detail given on a graphic, you are going to be asked about it. Do not take for granted that it is just there, right? We know that by now. So let's go to the first question here. On which pages does information on physical activity begin and end, right? So let's take this call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening.
Good evening, miss.
Hi, welcome. So this is a question here. Did you get a chance to read it?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so should I go to the graphic now?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So you want to know which pages they begin on, or physical activity begin on, and what page does it end with, or on?
Miss, these pages that it starts on page 10.
Right.
And ends on page 38.
Are you sure? What topic are they looking for?
Physical activity, my bad, miss. It starts on page 10 and ends on page 20.
Excellent. Right, so we thank you so much for calling. Right,
No
guys,
problem,
it is important that we read our questions very carefully, right? And I know she would have spotted that second time around. Information on physical activity begins on page 10 and ends on page 20, right? Notice physical activity for your life and body here. That is a chapter by itself. If you go to the next chapter or the following, that is another chapter, managing your weight, right? We are just looking at physical activity. Let's take one more call. On which pages, on which pages does information on physical activity begin? That's the question that we just completed. So number 40, what is the name of the chapter of the book in which one might find recipes for health meals? Give an example for such a meal. Right, good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Hi, good evening.
Please.
All right, let's take a final call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Okay, and I will hold on for that call there. Just a reminder before we go, guys, just visit our Edmodo page, right, www.edmodo.com. You will see the class code to the bottom of your screen there. If you aren't already a participant, please feel free to join us, whether you're a parent or a student. Just know that only the students can take the quizzes. Parents, we are there to monitor your child's progress, okay? And we are happy to have each and every one of you on our new class, right? As this new class, you have to send a request, and once Sir Ijaz or myself accept that request, you will be able to take the quizzes. Just remember, we post quizzes weekly based on the content done. Right, let's take this final call. Good evening, welcome to See Results.
Hi, afternoon, it's Regan again.
Okay, Regan, so final question for today. What is the name of the chapter of the book in which one might find recipes for healthy meals? Right, and then you have to give an example of such a meal.
Okay, could you just zoom in on the table there?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll find it in chapter 4, which is Eating Right.
Right, and what is an example of that meal? What do you think a healthy meal should comprise of? Give me an example.
Veggies, protein, fruits.
Right, so any of those you would just list as your example, right?
I could give like a kind of meal, like salad.
Like?
That's one. I have salad.
Yes.
There is veggie mix, like you stir fry veggies.
Do you cook, Regan? Or is
Yes.
that what mommy? Yes?
Yeah.
And healthy too?
Yeah, I help mom cook and I cook for myself.
Excellent. Right, so that's great. Thank you so
Right.
much for your call.
You're
right,
welcome.
and your hard
Bye.
work today. And of course, all our viewers and callers. Right, one might find recipes for healthy meals in chapter 4, Eating Right. An example of such a healthy meal is steamed vegetables and baked chicken, or whichever example you choose to provide. Okay, you cannot say KFC, guys. That will be incorrect, okay? But thank you so much for viewing. Feel free to rewatch this video as the live ends. In a couple days, this video will also be uploaded to our YouTube channel, so you can use it as a learning reference, or just revisit the video if you would like to do over a couple questions, maybe from mathematics or even ELA. Tomorrow, you will be rejoined for English Language Arts and Creative Writing again. Do have a great evening, guys. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening.